So why do so many custom builds end in emotional exhaustion instead of celebration? Well, if you're planning a major construction project, this might be the most important video you watch all year. So you've reached the end of the race, but you don't feel like celebrating. Well, let me tell you this. The secret to being able to celebrate at the conclusion of your project has nothing to do with the materials you chose or the kitchen you ended up with. It has everything to do with how you've been able to manage the high-stakes marathon of construction stress. And to do that effectively, you need to have strategies in place, and that's what we're going to talk about today. If you're not at or close to your mental capacity already with work and life and marriage and kids, then building a custom home or doing a major construction renovation will push you over the top of Mount Overwhelm really quickly. And you'll find yourself in the pit of despair wondering, oh, why did we ever do this? Can I just take a second and ask you to please invest in your future and subscribe to this channel? I put out content like this almost every day, and it's information that you need to know, that's valuable information that will help you get the most out of your projects. I'm gonna give you 3 strategies to use at any phase of your project. And I'll also point you to some resources that I have that will help you stay off that emotional roller coaster that sometimes these projects can get us into. And if you stay till the end, I've also got some bonus tips for you. In strategy number 3, find an ally. Mental health can be a beast to handle in life in general. And if you can offload some of the mental burden onto someone more experienced that can help you, that can really help you navigate these waters, then just do it. If it's not me at Albatross Academy, I'm live every Wednesday at 10 a.m. on YouTube. Try to talk to a friend or a mentor, someone that's maybe built before or renovated before, and ask them for advice. Try to lean on good friends and be able to share with someone the good and the bad of your journey, because sharing the load is critical for staying afloat. Alternatively, though they may not have great construction advice, therapists can help with a myriad of other challenges that you might be facing. Strategy number 2. The RIM framework. The RIM framework is something I advise to my clients when outlining what their communication expectations are, specifically with their builder. So the R in RIM, R-I-M, the R stands for regularity, where you're gonna outline the regularity of communication that you're expecting. You're doing this all prior to your project starting. The R stands for regularity, the I stands for information. You're gonna outline what information exactly you want communicated, and the M stands for method, as in the method that you want this communication to occur in. For example, text, email, WhatsApp thread, video call, site meetings. And this is really critical. At the contract stage, insist that you have weekly progress reports from your builder. Whether that's a site meeting or whether that's a video walkthrough if you can't make it to site, or whether it's just photos, having a meeting on Friday with the builder will allow you to understand and allow the builder to communicate what's happened during that week and how that affects the budget and how it affects the schedule, and look ahead to next week. Mentally, these meetings will really help offload some of that burden where clients often spend sleepless nights wondering what the heck is going on with their project. Systems. We have to have systems in place so that we can learn to manage information and that we don't have to keep things stored in the open tabs of our memory. If we don't have places to put things, and we start to forget things, and we start to feel really overwhelmed. So adding structure into our decision-making process is really helpful for offloading some of that mental strain. Now, it starts with your design. When you're working with your design team, make sure that you can knock off decisions early on in your design process. Now, oftentimes your design team can help with this, but ultimately the buck stops with the client. But the more front-loaded you can make your decisions, the easier it will be on the back end as your construction project starts. So to keep your decisions organized, you can use my homeowner decision checklist. It's free at albatrossacademy.ca/courses. And it has just about every decision that homeowners need to make, and it has a date field so that you can work with your builder to figure out when those decisions are needed by. And there's a checklist to ensure that you can check off decisions you've already made and offload some of that mental burden. It helps the clients mentally because it allows them to stay on top of decisions, and they can rest assured knowing that they're up to date and they've made all the decisions they need to make up until that point. For communication, I like to use WhatsApp, use a dedicated WhatsApp group or Slack or email, something that can be backed up long after the thread is finished in case you need to call on that information again. Make sure that the builder is also sending summaries of all decisions made. If you're doing, say, a site meeting, you'd be amazed at how often site meetings occur, decisions get made, and then there's no record of that ever happening. And so it's just a verbal thing. And if something goes wrong or there's a miscommunication, we really like to have that backed up. And so after every site meeting, when there's decisions made, the builder should be sending a summary, a recap of all the decisions made in that site meeting. And this flow of communication and this organization of information will really help you mentally get a sense of where and maintain a sense of where your project is at, and help you stay on time and on budget. You can use my estimate and cost tracking sheet that's available at albatrossacademy.ca/courses, and that helps you manage your budget as it refers to your initial estimate, and you can use it as an as-built cost tracker too. So as you're paying out invoices, you're allocating money to that specific line item that it was allocated to in the estimate, in the original estimate, which becomes your budget. So it can really help you know in almost real time where your budget is at. And that's really important for clients mentally, so they don't have to check in with the builder and go, are we okay? Are we on budget? are we doing okay? And that alone can eliminate a lot of sleepless nights. So these 3 habits allow you to unload a lot of that mental burden that clients often feel, knowing that you're going to be updated every week and that you're going to have maybe budget meetings every month. A really common annoyance that I get from clients in their building process is they feel like the project is happening to them and not with them. Like they've shoved this runaway train down the tracks and they can't stop it now. So these 3 tips will help you really unload some of that mental burden and keep your mental health intact. Bonus tip number 1, expect the unexpected. So if you're a regular viewer of this channel, you know that I push for builders to really hard to get as much cost certainty as possible. And that is very, very important. And still, there are going to be things that don't go according to plan. They should be, and with good planning, we can get as close as possible. But with the amount of people that work on site and the amount of different opinions and thoughts and procedures, nothing goes according to plan always. So what I prepare clients for is to try to expect the unexpected. And when something doesn't go according to plan, even if you put a lot of effort into planning it, it's okay. And if you expect that something somewhere along the line won't go according to plan, then you can be mentally a little bit ready for it. And it doesn't come as such a shock, and it doesn't come as such a surprise. And that can go a long way to preserving your mental health. Bonus tip number 2, diet, sleep, and exercise. In my college students, when I'm teaching my college students, I have to tell them around exam time, you've got to take care of your health in all ways. In the same way that school can be all-encompassing, building a custom home or doing a major renovation can be too, especially if you're putting in time after your full-time job and you've still got a marriage and you've still got kids. This can lead to a lot of mental health and anxiety and burnout, and it will lower your capacity to make decisions and manage stress. So make sure to fill up the diet, sleep, and exercise cup, and make sure to fill up the joy cup too. And make sure you're still taking time away, even if you feel like you can't afford it, taking time away from your project mentally and getting away on a mini vacation, or even just for an evening and talk about something else totally unrelated to your project. That will go a long way to allowing you to keep the freshness and the excitement in your project. So that's it. I hope that you feel a lot more prepared to mentally weather the storm through your construction project. It's a huge component of whether clients look back on their projects with resentment or with contentment. So that's one thing I really want you to try to work on as you move toward planning your project and as you move through your project, is taking care of your mental health and using these strategies. I'm Aaron from Albatross Academy. Thanks for watching.